So guys, in today's session, we will be discussing about the analysis over the SQL. Okay, we would be taking the same Airbnb rental case study that we were trying to do. I hope the EID diagram is handy with you all. So today, we would be analyzing this all these tables, and in last session we have seen how to create the tables. We have seen how to create a schema. We have seen the various other data types, long text, medium text, tiny int. We have also seen how the concept of auto increments. In today's session, it is purely on the analysis, how to do the analysis. So first we would be using this Airbnb rental. We are just using this schema from so many schemas, and then we'll try to do a analysis. We'll try to find, let us find the number of consumers first. Let us find the number of consumers. So what you can do is select count of member underscore ID from consumers. So it is telling consumers doesn't exist. It is from member, I guess. We have members. I mean, and it is member ID. So we have the records, 20 records, overall records are 20. The data consists for 20 members. Let us find the male and female consumers. Consumers. So what we can do is we can do select gender, count of member ID. Before that, let me show you how that table looks like. Select star from member. So here if you see, we have member ID, first name, last name, gender, birthday, and their profile pictures. So this information we have already saved. So from there, I am just counting the male and female consumers. We would be using group by because we want to group on basis of gender. The aggregate function is count. Okay. So that's where you can see that there are equal numbers of male and females. If you see this count of member ID, if you want to rename this, you can write as, we can write number of consumers, any any column name that you want to display. So that's where you would see that now we are displaying a correct format. Let us find the customers from which country visits more. Customers from which country visits more. Okay. So now we want to get the country information also, because if you see select, if we go and select star from member, here we have only the member information, but they belongs to which country, that is not available to us. That is not available to us. That's where we have to go and see the member address. Star from member address. But if I see this member address also, I'm not getting that country. I'm getting his street, house number, member ID, and zip code. All this information I'm able to fetch. But the country information is still not available here. So let us check another table. Select star from city. Do we have the country information here? So see, here we have the country information. But why I shown this table? Because see, city information or the city table is not directly accessible. We need to access this table via zip code. Because if I click over city, let me click over city, you would see that primary key is zip code. Okay, and this zip code is related to somewhere this member address. Okay, so you would see that okay, this member table and member address are joined on basis of member ID, and then with zip code I need to access the city table and access the country. So we would be joining all the three tables to access this. Okay. So let us first join select star from member M inner join city C. Okay, calling city as C. Okay, let us join inner join member member address as MA, and from member address I will join city, that is C. Then on is a keyword. It would specify that on which columns we need to join this table. If you see the member m dot member, we would be joining this on the member ID. Okay, then member address, also we have the member ID as a foreign key, and also join on zip code from member address table, also join on zip code from member address table, and city from city table join the zip code. Let us see what all informations we get. Okay, it is saying member underscore address spelling is wrong. What member underscore ID spelling is wrong. So you see that I have brought three tables information in one view. So see, in outputs I am getting member ID, its name, gender, birth date. You would see his address, house number, and using the zip code we also got its city name and country name. Okay, I got all the thing. Once you have joined, what you can do is you can go back to your problem statement and read customers from which country visits more. Customers from which country visits more. So I am interested in country, and this country I am getting from the city table. So that's where I will just select the relevant column. Let us select country, and I want a customer. So it could be member IDs. So I can get member ID.
Member ID.
So now I have selected the relevant columns. These two columns I need, and I want to count customers from which country visits more. Okay, so I want to combine all the countries and count. So that's where I would be counting the member ID. I would be counting the member ID. Okay, and we would be grouping on the basis of group by country. We can rename this member ID, count of member ID, as total customers. It would give how many customers it would visit, and we can do order by total customers. That's where you would see that least number of customers, whereas Germany has the most number of customers. You can arrange them in descending order. So Germany, okay, the total number of customers visited, or the highest number of the customers visited, is by Germany. Okay, so which ERD diagram I am referring, you can go to the GitHub link. There I have already posted that ERD diagram. uh, can anyone please share that link over here? Please share the link over here. Please share the link over here. So that ERD diagram we already discussed in our last session, and the same ERD diagram is posted over the GitHub repository. So you saw that, okay, how I am approaching the problem. It is, see, you can take any case study, but we have to see that how to approach the problem. So I have segregated this problem statement into three steps. First is I did a normal join. Then I again went back and checked, okay, what columns are being asked in the question. So they are asking customers from which country visits more. So that's where I have selected this country and member ID column. Then I know that, okay, they want a count of that. So that's where I applied a count of member ID, renamed it renamed it as total customers. Screen is not visible. Aniket, is it? Anyone else is facing that problem? So I would guess, please. Visible. Okay, Aniket, then you have to drop and again join. Please drop and again join. Okay. So then that's where I am. I have used this aggregated function, and I know that okay, and I want to bifurcate or segregate on the basis of country. In each country, I want the total count. So that's where I am grouping on the basis of country. And why I have used this order by? Order by is a clause, and we need to order on basis of total customers in the descending order. So this is how you will get this answer. Okay, let us find the age of customers. Find the age of the customers. Custom. So customers age we would get from member table. Select star from member. Select star from member. Do we have age here? Okay. We don't have age here. If you see, we have the birthday. We have the birthday. So from birthday, we can calculate the age. What you can do is, why select dot country and not select country? Here, it is C dot country. We have selected C dot country. C, it is coming from the city table. This country is coming from the city table. If I show you this schema, if I click over this schema, you will see that the country is coming from this city table. So that's where select C dot country. Okay, you can write here also group by C dot country. Okay, to make a consistency. Now we want to find the age of the customers. We are interested in finding the age of the customers, but the age, direct age is not given. We are given their birthday. So that's where we would be using one inbuilt function, that is a current date. Current date. So it will give us today's date. So you would see it is giving us today's date. And from this, I can extract the year. Let us extract the year from the current date. The moment I extract, you will get 2022. Okay. Now from this, I will minus birth date. Okay. If I write year of, let us go to members schema. So this is the member schema. You have birthday. If I'm writing year of birthday from member, so you would see I'm getting all the years. So let's go date. This is the inbuilt function minus year of birthday and renaming this as age, and let us select all other columns also. M dot star. Why M dot star? Because member I would call it as M. So that's where you would see that I am getting age of each of these customers. Age of all the customers. Okay. Let's say we want to find out how many bookings are made by each customers. Now we are interested in finding how many bookings are made by each customers. Okay. So now we are interested in booking informations. We are interested in booking information. So let us go to booking tables and let us see what are the booking tables, what it contains. This is a booking. So if I select star from bookings, let us first try to analyze this. Okay. So I have booking ID, this start date, end date, what is the total price, what is the accommodation ID and member ID. So see, if you notice here, we have the member ID. So I know that, okay, for each customer, if I want to extract the name, then I could get it from the member table. If I click over the member table, see member ID, we have the primary key. So we can connect both of these tables. We can connect both of these tables. Okay. So let us go and let us connect. So let's start from member M, inner join bookings, B. On what column we are going to join? M dot member underscore id is equals to b dot member underscore id. Let us see. So see, first we are joining. First step is we are joining. Okay, irrespective of any problem statement that is being asked, we will first join these two tables as a beginner, and we will see okay what all informations is being appearing here. So you would see okay Parmeet Singh. If you see here, his booking ID is 1000. Start date is this, end date is this. His total price comes around this. Okay. And now I can count this. Now I can make a count. So I'll select the relevant column. I will select m dot member underscore id, comma, count of, or let us select only the relevant column, b dot booking id. From bookings table, I will select the booking id. Bookings. Hold on. Let us go to bookings table and booking id. Okay. Member id and booking id. Okay. So you would see that for what is difference if we join using or on. Sorry, didn't get your question. Or on function, using function or on function. So you are telling I didn't got it. I didn't got it, Abhishek. What you are? I didn't got your question. Okay. So if you see here, select M for member ID, booking ID. Okay. So here I have selected these two columns. I have selected these two columns. Okay. Now we want to count that. Okay. If you see this member ID 20, how many bookings he had made? 2. If you see this member ID 18 or 15, he has also made 2 bookings. Or so that's where we want to count his bookings. That okay, each person is making how many bookings. So that's where I will do count of booking ID as number of bookings, each customer is making, each customer is making, and here you can write group by m dot member underscore id. Okay. So you would see that each customer, how many bookings are being made by each customers. How many bookings are being made by each customers. Okay. Abhishek, I got your question. Intentionally, I have not told that. So see what Abhishek is telling, sir, that okay, if we are joining on the same columns, see the same columns in member ID and booking ID, we have the same columns. So can I do it using function? Yes, you can join via using keyword. Okay. What you can do is you can take the same query. Since we can write here instead of on, what I can write is using member underscore id. Okay, because we have same column name. In booking id and member id, when we have same column name, you can use using, but it is always the best practice you can use on also. Let's say in member table I have member id and in booking table I have only id. Then you cannot use this keyword using. It is a limitation that okay, the column name should be same in both the tables. Okay. So we got the answer that okay, how many bookings are made by each customer, and we can do order by number of bookings. Number of bookings. Okay. Now let us move to another question. I want to select full name and member ID of all the mail customers. Let us select full name and member ID for all the customers. So how would I select the full name? So let's start from member. We are going to do very basics, okay, not moving to very advanced concepts. In next session we'll go to advanced concept because I don't know that the expertise of the crowd who has joined the session. So I want a full name. I want a full name. So that's where I would use a function. I would use a function. We can use a concat also. I can use concat first name, and then I can use last name. And I want to concat on basis of space. Let us see. As full name. Okay. And I want member ID. This is a demonstration of the concat function. Uh, this is the demonstration of the concat function. How we can use the concat function. Okay. So see, we have concatenated the first name and the last name under the full name. Okay. Okay. Now I want to display a result table with all the available contact information. Okay. Display all the available contact information. Contact information. I want to learn how to add new columns. That's where we have added a new column, right? This is the new column. What you can do is you can select star from member. Let us first select the, let us see from where we can get the contact information. Are we able to get it from login info? Okay. Login info has the member ID. Okay. Login info has the member ID. It doesn't have the phone numbers or the contact information. So contact info has the contact information, right? So select star from member M, inner join phone contact info C using member underscore ID. Okay. Member underscore ID. So for each member ID, I am getting the contact information. For each member ID, I am getting the contact information. Okay. Very simple. Now we'll complicate the things. Let us select only those cities which start with, select only those cities which start with H or B. Select only those cities which start with H or B's. Okay. So select star from city. You would see from here, I want to select only those cities which is starting with H or B. So I can use where city name like is a keyword. Okay, it will take, I want starting as H and percentile means followed by any number of characters. See, I'm writing like this, so it will give all the city names starting with H and followed by any number of characters. Okay, now I want both or B also. So B followed by percentile sign. Okay, B followed by percentile sign. Percentile sign means followed by any number of characters. Followed by any number of characters. Or city name like B percentile. Okay. So see here I am getting both the cities or all the cities were starting from H and starting from B, both. Okay, this is normal like operations. Okay, in this you can also select only those cities who has A in the second position. It should have A in the second position. So what you can do, you can write select star from city. Percentile means followed by any number of characters. We don't know what are the number of characters. It should be followed by any number of characters. Okay, it should be followed by any number of characters. So that's why here now I am selecting only those city who has A in the second position. So here select star from city where city name like, see I don't know the first character could be anything. So that's where we would be using underscore. Underscore. Second character should be A and after that it could be anything. So that's where you would see what I'm using. Underscore means only single character. Any single character but I don't know. It could be A, B, C, D or A. Anything from A to Z. Second position should be A. Definitely it should be A. After A it could be followed by any number of characters. We don't know that. So that's where you would see I'm getting all the city name who is A in the second position. I'm getting all the city name who has A in the second position. Okay. Now let us select all the cities which are not located in Germany. How to select cities which are ending with H or B? Okay. Select only those cities that are ending with, let's say, H or B. And we can select star from city where city where city name like percentile H or city name like percentile B. Okay, that's where you would see that okay, we are getting only one city, that is Punjab. Okay, now I am selecting all the cities that are not located in Germany. Select all the cities that are not located in Germany. Okay, we let's select star from city. So that's where you would see now I want to apply filter on country. I want to apply the filter on country. Okay, where country, where country not in Germany. You get all the cities which are not in Germany. All the cities which are not in Germany. Okay. So what you can do is we want to select a city. So that's where I have to apply distinct and you can do city because we are interested in city name. Question is asking about the city name. Okay. So it's not always that you need to do or select all the columns. So this is very simple query. Now, let us select the full address, all the members. Now full address consists of, see, full address will consist of what all things. Select star from members, member. Okay, from here I'll get the member ID. That okay, what is the name of the customer and all those things. Select star from member underscore address. From here I'll get the address. I'll get the address. So that's where here you will get street, their house number, zip code, but still the city and country information is missing. You want full address, so that's where you have to go to city table also to extract the city country also. Getting guys? Yes. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll join all these three tables. M, this is MA, inner join, select star from member M, inner join, member address MA, then again inner join, city C, using. Can we use using? Now can we use using? Now can we use using member ID? Will get confused. Okay, it will get confused. So see, now we are not able to use because we have three columns. So that's where now you would use on m dot member underscore id is equals to ma dot member underscore id, and you want now zip code to be joined with the another city's zip code, zip underscore code. Okay, now you want first name and the last name, full address of the customer, you want first name, you want last name, then first name is coming from the member table, last name is coming from the member table. Now you want a full address, so that's where you need to join their street. So first you will get the street that is coming from member address, ma dot street. Let us select all the relevant columns, ma dot house underscore number, then you can get ma dot zip underscore code, then you from city table you will get city name, then you will get country. So that's where you are getting a full address for that customer. Okay, if you want to join you can join also, you can concatenate all those things. So let us concatenate all those things. I'll use a concat function, concat. Okay, and I can write, let's say, house concat function, and here I can write street number. Let us write house number, comma, followed by house number, control V, comma, then we have street street name, comma, followed by this. Okay, ma dot house number, then street name, then we have zip code, city, and country as full address. Getting, guys? Getting? So we'll get all the things here. Okay. So we can also plan for putting a space in between to segregate. You can plan for adding a space, so you can beautify your outcome. Okay, so that's where we have the full address. That's where we have the full address. If there is null, it would be not joined. Nothing would be happen. Okay, it would be a blank in between. It would be a blank in between. Now let's say I want to select an overview of all already redeemed coupons. Select all the already redeemed coupons. Now we are talking about the coupons, which coupons are redeemed. Star from select star from coupons. So now we are talking about the coupons, and in this you would see that we have redeemed 1 and 0. Okay, that is true or false. If you see this book, let me go to coupons, so you would see that it is a boolean. uh, Redeemed. Okay, this is a tiny int. Ideally it should be a boolean. Okay, redeemed equals to 1, where redeemed equals to 1. Okay. So I'm getting all the coupons which are being redeemed and which people have redeemed those. Which people have redeemed those. So I can get those information using the member ID. Okay. How about uh, if I write here true? What will happen? So see, then also I'm getting all the ones because true is internally converted to 1. True is internally converted to 1. True is 1, false is 0. True is 1 and false is 0. Okay. Now I am getting customers who are making order from different office city instead of their customer city. So we can understand which city we can open now. Yes, but this is all about the rental. Yes, we can get those information also and we can do those analysis. Okay. That's where we saw that okay, in Germany there are more number of bookings. In Germany area we have more number of booking. Okay, so now we are selecting all the social media information. Let us select all the social media information. Let us see what all things are present in their social media. Select star from um, where it is social media. Select star from social media. Okay, so that's where you would see that we can find out the customers who are very active on Instagram and Facebook both. Let us find the customers who are active on Instagram and Facebook both. So select star from social media where Instagram underscore URL is not null and Facebook underscore URL is not null. Okay, so these are the customers who are active on both. You can get the customer names also. So what you can do is you can join these two tables. Let's start from member M. You can write inner join social underscore media as on m dot, or you can write using member ID where social media where Instagram is not null, so you can get the first name, last name, Facebook underscore URL, comma Instagram underscore URL. Okay. These are the customers, Instagram. These are the customers who are very active on Facebook and URL. Now you want to find those customers who are neither on Instagram nor on uh, Facebook, and you need to find a mode to connect with those customers who are inactive, so who are not available anywhere. So you need to find a mode to connect with them, that okay, what way should I connect to them? So there are no customers. If you see, there are no customers. Okay, so we are good at this point in time, we are good, but there could be customers or consumers who are not using Instagram or any other accounts. Okay. Now, if we talk about the payment methods, let us talk about the payment methods and let us see. Select star from payment underscore methods. Okay, I want to find out, okay, who are paying through credit card. I want to find the customers whose payment method is credit card. Find the customers whose payment method is credit card. Okay. Find the customers whose payment method is via credit card. So it is pretty simple query. We can do select star from payment underscore methods where credit underscore card underscore number is not null, right? So we'll get all those customers whose payment method is via credit cards. Okay. Plus now let us increase our complexity in this. Whose payment method is via credit card and their credit card is verified. Their credit card is verified. So I want to check one more condition and credit card verification is done. Credit card underscore verification is equals to true. Okay. So see, for these customers, the credit card verification is done. Okay. Now I want, okay, now as per business, if we talk about the business, so business want to find out uh, which are the target customers, okay, who has not done a verification. So what business will do, they will find out those customers who has not done a credit card verification, and they will contact these customers. They will contact these customers and try to understand that why their credit card has not been verified yet. Okay, do they need any help, because they want to get the people onboarded. Okay, now if the customer does not have the credit card information, then they might have done a PayPal verification. So that's where you would see that select star from payment methods where credit card is null. If you see those values where credit card is missing, for those there should be a PayPal verification. Okay, but there are still few customers where PayPal verification is also not done. So that's where, so see, these are our target customers. These are our target customers to whom we can get onboarded. Here I can write credit card is not null and PayPal underscore verification is equals to false. So why they have not done the verification, that's where we want to understand from these customers. Okay, because neither they have credit card number nor they have the PayPal verifications. So we want to make their process smooth. Okay, let us now find all the hosts on the platforms. Hosts, select star from hosts. If I go and let us select the host table, let us go to host. It is not as, okay. So these are the hosts. These are the hosts, and we want to find the name. We want to find the name for them, those hosts. So what you will do, you will just select star from member M. Okay. Let's do left join. Let us do left join because see, the members could be there. Select star. Okay. So I want to join first. I want to take a host ID and want to join. I want to get all this information, all the names of the host. Left join member M using member underscore ID. So from this, if you see, what is the error? Member. It is member underscore ID. Okay. Select star from host H. Left join member ID. Okay. So see, let us see, are there any missing hosts? No, there is no missing host. Okay, there is no missing host. So we got the name of the candidates who are host also, okay. So they are the members also and they are hosts. Let us output, or let us find the list of all accommodations. Find the list of all accommodations that are available. First thing, that are available Okay, first question is, please find a list of accommodation that are available and that are cheaper than 50k. Cheaper than, let's say, 5,000 for example. Okay, or let's say 50, we can give 50 also per night. We'll modify the question on the basis of the data that we have. So I'm selecting, let's start from accommodation. Let us first see what is there in this. Is this spelling wrong? Accommodation. Okay, so let's start from, I have double accommodation. Okay, so I got the accommodations which are available. So availability would be 1 and the price should be something like this. Okay, so let us do price cheaper than 50 per night. Okay, which are less than 50. So where availability is equals to true and and price per night is less than 50. Price per night is less than 50. Okay, so that's where you got only these accommodations which are available. If you see here, one of the accommodation, the description is missing. For one of the accommodation, the description is missing. So total accommodation available are 4. Okay, getting guys? Okay, for each accommodation, if you want to see the rating for this accommodation, let us fetch a rating. Let us fetch the ratings for the above available accommodation. That, okay, on the basis of rating, I want to choose which one is best. Which one is best? Okay, so what I can do is select star from accommodation A, inner join ratings. So can ratings and accommodations be joined? Okay, so we have rating ID, rating for accommodation ID. See, we have rating for accommodation ID. So I can join this. I can join this on basis of this. So ratings are on A dot accommodation underscore ID equals to R dot rating accommodation ID. Okay. Ratings, what is the error? It is telling accommodation. So let's start from, spelling is wrong, is it? Accommodation ID. I have to go into accommodation table where it is. Let us fetch the schema for this. Where is accommodation? Okay, it is accommodation underscore ID. Okay, so for each accommodation I got a rating. For each accommodation we have the rating. The ER diagram is already present and we have already discussed in the previous session. Now for those we want where availability is true and price per night is less than 50. So these are the accommodations. Okay, now I want an average rating for each accommodation ID. Accommodation underscore ID. See, we have the ratings, so I can get a average ratings. Average of rating. That's where we would arrange those. It is coming from A dot this, and we will do group by A dot accommodation underscore ID, comma, average rating as avg underscore rating. Okay, we can do order by average rating descending. Okay, Let us do that. What it is telling, a dot accommodation id in the field list. Is this spelling wrong? Is this spelling wrong, guys? Let us go and check the accommodation underscore id. Copy this, copy the correct name, correct name, correct name. Okay. So you see that, okay, the accommodation ID 13 has average rating 4. It was available, and let us see the price of this. The price, if I get the price also, if I get the price per night, it is less than 50. You would see the price per night is less than 50. Okay. Though the price is 49 here, though the price is 49 here, so that's, but still the average rating is less. Here you see the price per night is 45, the average rating is 2. Okay, so out of this available accommodation, this accommodation id is best. So you could choose this one, you could choose this one. Okay, now let's say I want to find all the costs between 10 and 70. List all the costs between 10 and 70. List all the costs between 10 and 70. Again, I'll go to the accommodation table, select star from accommodation. Okay, where price per night is less than 70, and and why to do this, we can do between 10 and 70. Okay, where price per night, ACCOMODATI, accommodation, right? Spelling is right.
Sir, it will be double M.
Yep. Sorry. So see, here I am getting all the accommodations whose price per night is between 10 and 70. Okay. If I arrange here, so see, minimum is 25, maximum is 69. Okay. Now I want to find, we would increase the complexity, find the best, or find the accommodation which has been booked most. Find the accommodation which has been booked most. Okay, I want to find that, okay, which of the accommodation ID has been booked most. So let's start from member. Select start from member. Okay, I'll get the member ID from here. Select start from accommodation. Okay, I want to connect this, so there is no member ID. So I want to go to host. First I'll go to host, select star from host, then I'll connect. See, from host I'll get host ID, then I'll connect to accommodation. From accommodation I'll get the accommodation ID, and from select star from accommodation underscore address. So I'll get the address also. I'll get the address also. If you want, you can get the address. Okay. So find the accommodation which has been booked most. But we want to get the bookings also, right? I got the accommodation, but whether that accommodation is booked or not. So see how complex this query would be. Select star from bookings. Again, we also need the bookings because here we would have the booking ID. So see, from booking ID we'll go to accommodation ID. Okay. So instead of this, we'll get a bookings. We'll get bookings. So we'll be joining these four tables. See, members. From here I have member ID, then I'll go to bookings to get whether that member has booked or not. Then from here I'll get the accommodation ID. Okay, and if you want to get the price of that accommodation, then you need to go to this. price, and if you want to get the address, you can get it from the accommodation address. Okay, getting guys? So let us only focus first these two columns, these two tables. So let's start from member M, inner join bookings B, using member underscore ID. Okay, so I got this member ID and he has booked this accommodation ID. Now I want to see that how many times a particular accommodation ID has been booked. How many times a particular accommodation ID has been booked. So that's where I will get accommodation underscore ID, comma, count of accommodation underscore ID as total bookings till date. Okay, and here I'll do group by accommodation ID. Okay, order by total bookings till date, order by total bookings till date descending. So see, accommodation ID 3 has been booked 4 number of times. Okay, if I want to fetch the address of this, again you can fetch the address also. You can join this. Let us fetch the address. Let us find the accommodation with its address, with its address. I want to fetch the address. So address I'll get from accommodation address. Okay, from here I get the address. Inner join double A address. I can do on m dot member id is equals to b dot member underscore id and b dot accommodation underscore id is equals to a dot accommodation underscore id. Okay, now I can get the address. I can select a dot street, a dot street, a dot house number, a dot zip underscore code. Okay, so these are the columns that I am selecting from the total query. So what I did, I am selected the accommodation ID, total number of bookings till red, its address. Let us see. So accommodation ID is ambiguous, so that's where I want to write here. It should be from b dot accommodation ID, b dot this. Now accommodation ID again where I missed. Okay, here count of b dot this. So see, for each accommodation ID 3, the total bookings were 4, and this is the address it has fetched. This is the address it has fetched. You can just concatenate and make it as a complete address. Okay. So ideally, if you are traveling somewhere here, okay, in Regent Street, then you should prefer this accommodations. Okay, so that is the accommodation preference that you could fetch. Okay, now let's say I want to find all the bookings where start date is from 2021. Okay, so find all bookings from 2021. So select start from bookings. So that's where you would see I want to find all where the start date is 2021. That's it. So what I can do, where year of start underscore date is equals to 2021, right? So see, I'm getting all the bookings where start date is 2021. Okay, I want to find the best month in which most bookings happened, so that I can plan my further things. That okay, I can adjust the rates or I can do some workarounds and make some profits. Okay, so I want to find the best month. Okay, so in which month I am getting more bookings, in which month I am getting more bookings. Okay, so here if you see the start date and end date, so we'll calculate the month in which month we will get the more bookings. So I'll calculate the booking underscore id. For that booking id, what is the name month name for that booking id? It could be start underscore date. Okay, start date. So am I getting booking id and month? Okay, then I want to group by month, group by month name, month underscore name, group by month name, and count I want to count how many bookings are coming in each month, how many bookings are coming in each month. Okay, so that's where I'm doing a count of booking id as number of bookings, as number of bookings. Okay, so this would give me that okay, for each month how many number of bookings I'm getting. Let us order by number of bookings in descending order number of bookings in descending order. So you'd see May month we are getting most number of bookings, May and October, May and October. Okay, you similarly you can find on the year also which year is more suitable. Okay, which was the best year on the basis of revenue. Okay, let us talk about invoices. We haven't talked about invoices table. Let us see what all information does the invoices table contains. We talked about accommodation, we talked about bookings, we talked about city, contact info, coupons. We didn't talk about the cancellations. We'll talk about that. Let us talk about the invoices. Select star from invoices. Invoice. Invoice. Okay. So I want to see how many invoices are being paid and how many invoices are not being paid. Okay. So let us first understand that okay, uh, which people have not paid their invoice. So we can do select star from invoice I and select star from invoice. I'll get the invoice information from here. Then I will do inner join. What are the bookings for that? Bookings B. Then I want to fetch. That's it, right? Then we will see using in invoice. I have invoice ID and booking ID, so that's why using booking underscore ID. Let us see. In is not taking. Okay. So for this booking ID, this was the member ID. Okay. For so and so booking ID, we are getting the member ID. Again, if I do inner join member M, so I'll get on I dot booking ID I dot booking ID is equal to B dot booking underscore ID and B dot member underscore id is equals to m dot member underscore. So guys, first thing is you need to join all the tables. Let us see that what is the output, then go back to your problem statement and try to see what is being asked. So here see from invoice id we are interested in people whose invoice are pending, or the customers. People is not the right word. Customers whose invoice are pending. So see here I got the invoice ID. From invoice I went to the booking. Why I went to booking? Because I need to fetch the member ID. From this member ID I have fetched that name. Okay. So I want a name. So I want m dot first underscore name, m dot last underscore name, comma. Then I need there, okay, what is the invoice ID for that customer? I dot invoice underscore ID. Then okay, what is the payable amount? I dot payable amount. What is the payable amount? Okay, for that customers, and whether he has paid or not. I dot invoice underscore paid. Did he paid that invoice or not? Okay, and what was the due date of this invoice? That is payment underscore date. What was the due date of that invoice? So we'll select all those things. What is the payable able amount? Okay, so you see that, okay, I'm getting the name, first name, last time, his invoice ID was this, payable amount is this, payment date was this, whether invoice is paid or not paid. So we want to get whose invoices are pending. So that's where we'll write where I dot invoice underscore paid equals to false, who has not paid the invoice. So see, there are three people who have not paid their invoice. That's where we need to follow those customers. That's where we need to follow those customers. Okay, so this is how we are getting all the information uh, about those invoices. Okay, now I want to find all the uh, find all the information about the payments, about the payments, find all information about the payments the company needs to make to the hosts, who are the hosts and they want to pay amount. Okay, so what were their earnings? Because see, they are giving the reviews, so that's where I'll just go to select star select star from payments to host. Is it? Yes, payments to host, right? We want to see that, okay, which invoices are pending. So see, I want to first understand that, okay, which are the pending amounts. So do I need to understand now that, okay, this invoice are pending, okay, are they host, is company liable to pay them or the customers liable to pay them? Okay, so that's where we want to understand that thing. So that's where we are telling that find all the information about the payments the company needs to make to the host. So you would see that here I have some of the invoice IDs and here are the payable amounts. Now I will join this invoice ID P payable to host PTH. Okay, inner join invoices I on using invoice ID. So I want to understand that what are those payments pending for. Okay, now where invoice underscore I dot invoice underscore paid is equals to false. So see, we were getting those three information, and if you see, those three information were coming from here. So those three names what we saw earlier, if you see the host ID 2 10 11, so see those three names, invoice ID 20 22 27 36, these were not a pending invoices from the customers. These were the pending in though these were the pending invoices, but the company was liable to pay them because they were the hosts. So see, payments to host are pending. So these are pending from the company's end. These are pending from the company's end. Okay. Now we can see the coupons information also, whether coupon is available for this customer or not, host or not. For this member or host, the coupon is not available. There is no coupon available for him. Okay. But there are two coupons available for those, and we can see whether those coupons are expired or not expired. Okay. Now let's say I want to find the cancellations. We should talk about the cancellations also. So we'll talk about each and everything about each. We'll take one or two examples for each of these tables so that we understand whole this ERD diagram and we understand this case study. Select star from cancellation. So if you see this cancellations, okay. So these were the booking IDs whose invoice were this, and there was a refund. There was a refund. Okay. So let us find the accommodation IDs which were cancelled, not bookings. I am interested in finding the accommodation IDs. Accommodation IDs or address which were most number of times. I want to find which accommodation, not address, accommodations which were cancelled most number of time. I want to find the accommodations which were cancelled most number of times. Okay. So select star from cancellations. From cancellations, I'll go to bookings. So you would see that bookings, we have this accommodation ID. So select in star from cancellation C. That's where I'll do left join because I want all the records from the cancellation table, and left join bookings table B. Then we'll do on C dot booking underscore ID is equals to B dot booking underscore ID. Okay. So I got all the, see, this was the booking ID refund, so it was cancelled. This booking ID was cancelled and the accommodation ID was this. Okay. So I want the information about the accommodation ID. Accommodation underscore ID. So we want to group that accommodation ID, and that accommodation ID is coming from the bookings table, and we want to count the booking IDs. Okay, count booking IDs which is coming from the cancellation table. C dot booking underscore ID as total count. I have to group by B dot accommodation. Booking ID can also be unique. Booking ID can also be unique. So that's where I'll take the accommodation ID. That's where I'm taking the accommodation ID. Okay. So see, this accommodation ID 3 has been cancelled 2 times. Guys, can you go on mute? On mute. Order by total count descending. Okay. So accommodation ID 3 has been cancelled 2 times. Has been cancelled 2 times. Okay. If you want to see the refund amount also, what was the total refund? So you can do uh, sum of, let's say from cancellation it is coming as, I have to go to cancellation tables, and here I have C dot refund. Where it is C dot. So guys, this was all about the cancellations. This is how we get the cancellations informations. This is what we got about the cancellation information. Okay. Now we can also discuss about the last 2 to 3 things. We haven't discussed about the uh, instructor. Let us discuss about the instructor, and Let us see what information is there in the instructor table. Select star from instructor. So select star from instructor. Okay. So these are the instructors information that is being present. And if you see this instructor ID, it is not connected with any of the tables. It is not connected with any of the tables. Okay. So, but it is just connected with the experience tables. So if I go to experiences, so we want to understand the experiences of the instructor. So we can understand the experience of each instructor. Experience of each instructor. Let us understand it. Select star from instructor from I inner join, and then you can do experiences E using instructor ID. Okay. So for each instructor, now we have this description of experiences. So you would see, let us take the description. Let us take the instructor underscore ID comma description. So that's where you would see the experiences of each of these instructor, that what he's trying to tell, so see, this instructor ID is telling that cook with one of the best chefs, our grandma, she and her sisters. Okay. So there are many information that he is trying to give. Okay. That okay, he was an instructor and he has organized a group. He has organized a group travel, and that's where he is trying to give us some of the information and the experiences. So we can give, let's say, where group size is greater than 10, greater than equals to 10. We want to get the instructor experiences where group size is greater than equals to 10. So see, these are the instructions. These are the descriptions about the instructors, what they want to tell, what they are telling, what is their experience, that good local city tour and skydiving experiences with local shoppings. So this instructor ID 14, if you want to go and see more information about that instructor name, and try to see the descriptions. So guys, I hope now we are very much clear with the joins. We are very much clear with the joins, how to connect to the tables. We connected the two tables, we connected three tables, then we saw few of the functions, few inbuilt functions. I hope we are okay with that. So this is how you need to progress whenever you are trying to solve any of the case study. The ERD diagrams are already there. The ERD diagrams are there on the GitHub repo. So you can search for the username Parmeet not 97637. It is hyphen 97637. Okay. Or you can type my name and search for the GitHub repo there, and inside that you have the live sessions, and under that SQL session you would have that ERD diagram. So you could go and do all these basics. So what is required to do in basic? You should know the inbuilt functions. You should know all the inbuilt functions. You should be very good in joins. You should be very good in filtering the tables. You should have the limits. So limit is basically selecting top 10, selecting top records. Okay. So we didn't talk about the limits. If you want, we can talk about the limits also. So let's say I want to let us select the member, select a customer who has done highest number of bookings. So what you can do is we can do select star from member M inner join booking bookings B using member underscore ID. So we have joined this two table. Let us see. Yes, we got it. So I got m dot member underscore ID comma count of b dot bookings underscore ID booking underscore ID as total underscore bookings, and here I'm doing m.member_id order by total bookings, total underscore bookings descending. So you would see we are getting each of these members. So we are getting all the members. So let's say if you want to find top three, so you can do limit three, limit three. So you will get top three members. You will get top three members. Okay. With this, you are getting top three members. You are getting top three members. Okay. This is top three. Now let's say if you want us to find the second highest, if you want to find the second highest, select the second highest customer, second highest customer who has done the on the basis of big and the second highest bookings. Okay, so here you can write, if you write 2, so you will get 2 records, right? This is the top, this is the second highest, but we want only this one. So what you can do is you can write 1 comma 1, that is the offset. That was you want to skip the first one, skip the first one and select the one another. Then okay, select the next one, select the next one. If I write here 2, you will get second highest and third highest both. You will get second highest and third highest both. Okay, but in the question it is being asked only for the second highest. So guys, please go and learn this concept about the basics in next session. What we are going to read. So in next session it would be pure advanced, no pure advanced concepts. Advanced concepts. So what we would be reading in next session. So we would be studying about the window functions. We would be studying about the window functions. Window functions. Okay. Then we would be studying about the CTEs. Then I would be explaining what is difference between CTEs versus CTE versus stored procedures. Then in window functions also we would study many things. We would study rank, we will study dense rank, we would study lag, we will study lead, we will study entile, and we will study percentile rank. Okay. Now after that we would also be studying about the how to create the functions, how we created those functions in the pandas or Python. In the same way, we'll create the functions and the procedures. How to create the functions and procedures in the next session. We'll also study the concept about the frames. Very important when you are doing a time series analysis. Very important when you are doing a time series analysis. That's where the concept of frames will come. Pivots. We learned pivots in pandas, how to do that in SQL. How to do that in SQL. Then we'll learn the concept of indexes. Okay, so these all topics we'll try to cover, and then we'll wrap up the SQL sessions. So after that the SQL session will be done. So till now we have learned that okay, how to pick up any of the case study, how to build the ERD diagram and implement that ERD diagram into SQL servers, how to do a basic analysis, how to understand the data, how to do a basic analysis using the ERD diagram. And now in the next session we would see about the advanced concepts. So guys, I think that's it from my end. Thank you all, and to let me know if you have any question.